Right. Well, this is this has been really hard. I'm going to start off with some sad news. Our little lady, the little furry bundle of crazy that bursts in when I start a video, she's no longer with us. I can't go into too much detail, it's too raw. She had cancer and we had to have her put down, she was suffering. So now that I've got that out of the way, I have not done that much really. But since she's gone, I've been filling the time that I would normally spend with her doing this. So I've got a bit done, I suppose. Right, on that note, let's move on to something less painful. Right, this truck, outwardly, not done very much, but I've tried my hand at fiberglassing for the first time. Watched a few videos. It's not rocket science, it's just more faff and experience, to be truthful. So this is what I've got done so far. I've rubbed it down a little bit. I used the thick old, it's for auto repair and boats, fiberglass matting. It's thick, it's heavy. It's good enough for this. It's not cosmetic, so that will do. It's stabilised the body shell. I can pick it up now without any cracking or movement, which is what it needed to do on the back. I'll explain those holes in a minute. I had a little bit left over, so I did the seats. I've painted the interior. Need to put the seats back in because I've shortened it slightly. I can't fit the rear seats, just the front seats. So seeing as this is going to be like a utility truck, I've ditched the cream interior and went with black and grey. It's not the best job ever, but it's passable, and nobody's ever going to really see it up close, so that'll do. So that's the body. Right, so what else have I done? The chassis, there's been some changes there. I spent a little bit of money. I bought hang on, bear with me. Right, I was using the original, and I mean the original Mark 1 SX10 shock hoops. The body post mounts have long since gone. There was really just to hold the shockers on. Well, two of them are broken. That one's broken twice, and another one of them that seems to be missing is broken also. So they weren't actually holding the shockers on anymore. So I bought these. They were 12 British pounds from eBay. They were bright red. They're supposed to be anodised red. So I thought about using them on that because that's got anodised red aluminium, but it turns out they were just painted red. So I thought I'll paint them black, but the paint hasn't stuck, so I'm going to have to repaint them at some point. Not a big deal because the extensions I've made for the chassis also need to be painted, so I'll just leave them on and paint the whole thing when I shoot it black. That's the back. I've mounted the bumper to that. I may do the same at the front depending on mounting. So what's changed here, I don't know if any of you remember, the axles and the gearbox are out of the Land Rover, which is upstairs. I've switched the gearbox around, so the motor's at the front. I had it sat this way, but then I was struggling to mount the battery, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, just turn it the other way around. Worst I had to do was cut a notch out of the dash and the interior. If I put tinted glass on, it's not a big deal. Nobody's going to be seeing inside. There's only me knows that the dashboard envelops the motor. And seeing as the transmission tunnel comes in sort of through the dash in a lot of rear drive and four-wheel drive vehicles, not a big deal. I'll deal with that. I have no drive shafts. I've got to work out the drive shafts. But suspension wise, there's no oil in these shockers, but that's not the biggest of deals, to be honest. It sort of behaves fairly well. Right, I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's been a while since I've done it. Right, I am ditching the chassis mounted servo. I've been looking at these axles. If I use these 4 mounting points here that have a bolt going through, I can make a basic little mount and axle mount the servo. I mean, this setup is from an SX10-3 and it has a panhard bar, so I may use that because when you turn the steering, hang on, so we can, look, that's actually not doing it now, but the whole body moves side to side when the steering does under its own steam, so that needs to be fixed. Right, so that was £5, and if there was ever a cautionary tale about recycling, this is it. These are the sprues that the plastics for that body set, that GSO2 Buffalo body set, came off of. These are big, beefy, and I've used them as cross supports to replace the ones I didn't have in the back. Oh, there's one there, another one there, because, where's it gone? This one, the old SCX10 one that I've been using for years, the holes are so large now, no screws will go in it. So it's just for show now. It just put it in somewhere because it looks good. It's not actually structural, it's fastening. So that's the chassis. So let me reassemble this, minus the front seats, and I will show you how she looks. Oh, just before I reassemble it all, the fiberglassing, I didn't mix it up. I mixed a very small amount to see how far it went, because the pack I bought was not a big pack. So I know it goes off pretty quickly if you mix a 1% solution. The weather has been lousy in the UK, so I haven't had a chance to finish it, but I plan on fiberglassing across here, making the truck bed and the cab one piece, just for rigidity, just for strength, because it's just held together with these two little screws, one here, and actually two on that side, and it moves and flexes. Whether it would take a rollover on the trails, I don't know. Yeah, I never actually showed you the back properly. That's previous owner cut this entire section out, and I cut this entire section out, and it just needed all rebuilding. It's just, this is all original, but this is just so weak. It just needed strengthening, reinforcing. So, right, that's the body. Let's get it all together now, so I'll show you what I'm doing. Right, now, the mounting system on this is also only temporary, because I've used the rear bumper hooks into the body. I'm using it as a mount. Now, it's sort of supported by these, so I do need to put some extra where it locks in for that later, because in the event of a rollover it would just break the bumper and the body would come off. Right, now, more ultimate recycling. These body posts here are more sprues. These are from the grill from the body set for that, so they made really good body posts. Now, I have these metal ones. They came with the shock hoop and body mount set that I got for that are in there. They're aluminium, and they came with these posts, but they're not long enough for this. So I do plan, you can get longer ones that are meant for, like, if you're putting a blazer body on. So I will get some of those at a later date, just not now. As you can see, I've got the wheelbase, and I managed to, because I've cut these body mounts and shock mounts into the truck bed, I managed to get the body a little lower. I just wanted it that little lower. That's as low as I can get this and still have flex. Right, just give me a minute while I put the body post in. Right, so at the moment we've got not massive but reasonable flex. Now, I'm going for either like a farm truck or a military truck or something like that with this. So they wouldn't be sat much any higher than this. It's slightly lifted. Probably a 6 to 10 inch lift in reality. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's looking good. As I have extended the front, so that needs to be on there. Yeah, that's just for mock-up at the moment. Now, the front bumper, it would, if I mount it the same way the back one did, I can get away with mounting it to the chassis, not the shell. So, plus, using these stock SCX10-3 mounts, I can fit aftermarket bumpers to this later, or modify aftermarket bumpers just to make them wider. I've got windows to make, I've got the seats to fit, because as you can see, you can't really see, but the motor does impede in the dashboard, so I need to cut the seats to fit. Like I say, there's no space in the back for rear seats, so I'm going to cover the holes where they don't need to be painted black. That interior's done. Need to make these pieces for the doors. The keen-eyed amongst you may have noticed this little puppy in the corner. I painted it and I made my own decals for it. My friend has a printer, so I'm going to ask him to make some water slide decals for me. I actually lost the shocker tops on the back were painted white, not by me. At some point somebody else had painted them white by accident, partially, so I took them outside, I painted them, the wind got up, they blew away. So now I can't, there's no shockers in that now. I took the top ones off, I'm hoping a friend can 3D print some for me. So that is just for looks only at the moment. The paint job is not the best, but it's passable on the shelf, like this distance, which is anybody's going to see it. I'm not actually going to run it because the front bumper is just glued together. So I've done a separate video of that, but I did that video before my little lady passed away, so I need to finish that video and get that uploaded. I can't remember if she's in that one or not. Anyway, so good news, bad news. This truck is well on the way to working. Mechanically, I've literally just the servo to sort and the drive shafts, mount electronics, and it's working. The body, well, there's a little bit more to do than that. I've still got some filling, but now that I've got the body secured and stabilised, I mean, if I'd have done that before pressing on it with my thumb, it'd have just snapped off. So at least now I can get the filler in there and know it's not all going to break apart. I'm just, like I say, not decided on the colour, but at least now I can get it prepped for paint. As soon as the good old British weather allows. In the last couple of weeks, it's just either been windy, rainy, or cold, or all of the above. None of those are good for fiberglass, or paint, or filler. Anything that involves needing to be dry. Anyway, so there we go. I was going to have an Emax running video, but that didn't go well. I'll mention that in the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm back again now. We're starting to get on without our little lady. It's hard, but, you know, I've even had to go back to work. I'll cover that in another video. This has gone on long enough. Right, thanks for watching, peeps, and goodbye.